Many whānau are still dealing with the effects of Cyclone Gabriel after it hit 16 months ago. But recently, whānau in Te Karaka were evacuated in the last few days. Dispossession continue for many whānau in places like Te Karaka, just outside of Tūranganuiakiwa, Gisborne. Joining us now is Robyn Rauna from Te Aitanga-a-Māhaki. Robyn, tēnā koe, thank you for your time.
Tēnā koe, Julian.
When the call goes out for possible evacuations, when lots of rain hits the takiwā, do you get the feeling, Robyn, and do whānau get the feeling of, oh no, here we go again?
Yes, they do, and in fact, even now we've got we've got a warning right now, of impending rain.
How do whānau deal with that? Is there a lot of trauma given what happened last year with Cyclone Gabriel?
Yes, I think though, in lots of ways, the psychological first aid training that was delivered in our own community and in Tūranga and then further up the coast has been very helpful. The psychological first aid training delivered by Red Cross. So I think there's a greater openness about talking about the effects of it's the sound of the rain and what it does for people's well-being and ongoing health. So I believe we've become stronger with it. But don't get me wrong, I think as we're seeing, events happen with a regularity that we've never seen before, I think there are definite impacts on people's health.
Robyn, how many whānau are still dealing with their homes that were adversely affected by Cyclone Gabriel last year, and particularly with insurance claims?
So I have 14 open insurance claims. The claims that I was supporting and advocating for alongside my colleague Dean Lester, who's an insurance expert in Christchurch. 14. 14.
And this is 16 months after Cyclone Gabriel. Why is it taking so long, Robyn?
Well, I think, and this morning I had a meeting which was brought about with the Chief Executive of the New Zealand Insurance Council, Chris Whāwhoi, alongside our Mayor Stoltz. So Dana Kirkpatrick, our local MP, through reaching out to her and alerting her to just the lack of progress and clear timeframes for our whānau. There are insurance is something which, don't get me wrong, everyone does need insurance, and it's to provide for for whānau, when they most need it, when they're at their most vulnerable. But what I've come to learn and understand is, and there have been, I've received communication from upper level management in the different insurance companies, and I think genuinely they think that there is something really positive happening, right? And I've had been meeting for 8 weeks weekly with the biggest insurer of the country, IAG, but in all of that time, not one claim was settled. So I'm now I feel responsible for alerting people like Chris Whāwhoi, like our mayor and others, about the need for better progress to be made. And I believe that's because there is not a clear articulation of the process of insurance. It's the way, so that's actually clearly explaining. And then if you think about it, when people are dealing with the after effects of a cyclone, and when they're at their most vulnerable, they're not insurance experts. And insurance is a highly complicated and complex matter. So when, and I believe strongly that our families in Te Karaka have been well served, because as I've seen, full and final settlements and offers to settle were made without actually complying properly with the need to advise families of the need to obtain independent legal advice about those offers.
What I'm getting from you, Robyn, is is a sense of frustration, right? And this is you dealing with the claims, not whānau themselves, right? So it must be immensely frustrating for whānau as well. How much longer will this take, do you think, before these claims are settled and whānau are in a position to be able to deal with things going forward?
Well, my colleague that I work for reminds me he's still dealing with claims from the Christchurch earthquakes, which was 13 years ago, right? I know of, and I didn't have her claim, but I do know of a person who lives in Te Karaka who had her, she also experienced the Christchurch earthquakes. She only settled her claim in April of this year from Christchurch, and her claim from Cyclone Gabriel was unsettled. So I think there are questions that should be asked about why it is. I almost feel that because our iwi was so well served having an insurance expert and fairly, and I believe very fairly, asked the questions that our families weren't, as lay people weren't able to ask. Now, I've learned enough, and, with my understanding of how the law works, it's a basic it's as basic as understanding contract law, that when somebody goes through this process, they should be shown or explained in clear, plain language how things will work.
Mātāmua ko te tangata. Mātāmua ko te tangata. Robyn e mihi ana. Tēnā koe i o mahi. Tēnā koe i e nei kōrero. E whakaaro nui ana ki ngā whānau Te Karaka e mihi ana ki a koe.
Kia ora.